But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Let me tell you about my great God. Hey guys, Pastor Tim here. Hope you're doing great. We are in 1 Samuel chapter 22, continuing David's run from Saul. If you haven't read it yet, pause the video really quick, jump into it, writing down things that stick out to you. But today we see David, he's kind of running around, going to different places. First he goes to Moab, then he goes back into Israel, and we see Saul during all this time. He's trying to find him, and once again we find him here in this particular chapter. He's sitting under a tree. He has his servants around him, and I think he's kind of displeased. He's kind of discontent with the fact that he hasn't. Not only has he not found David yet, but he feels like some of his men don't really care about finding David that much. So he proposes this situation. He's like, how many of you guys think that if David was to be king, the son of Jesse, as he calls him, can give you vineyards and this? So he's pretty much saying, hey, if you guys stick with me, if you continue to follow me, obey me, I'm going to reward you greatly. I'm going to give you vineyards. I'm going to give you land. I'm going to give you prestige and rewards. Do you think the son of Jesse, do you think David, who, a matter of fact, not long ago was a shepherd, do you think this guy can do this for you? Why are you not taking this more seriously? Why are you not as angry as I am, trying to squash this rebel, this outlaw, this man who would think he could take the throne? Something we haven't seen from David at all, but I'm pretty sure these are things, if I'm reading into the text, that Saul is probably insinuating and doing these questions, saying, do you think he can give this to you? No, he cannot. Only I can. I'm the king. He is not. And he even laments on the fact that his own son, he's like, no, you guys even told me that my own son was in league with the enemy. And how can I trust any of you guys? Do any of you guys really care? And then here comes in Doeg. All right, Doeg, however you want to say his name. The guy from last chapter, the spy Saul that saw David with Ahimelech in the city of Nob. He's like, hey, I'll be your man, Saul. I'll help you out. All right. I saw David not too long ago with Ahimelech, the priest, in the land of Nob, all right, conspiring. He gave him food, him and his men food. He gave him a sword, or he may have exaggerated it too and said, like, he gave him all his men weapons. And he paints this picture that Ahimelech is conspiring with David and trying to strengthen him and his armory so that he can fight against Saul, which definitely wasn't the case. And it leads to a very tragic situation. All right, so they go to Nob. Saul confronts Ahimelech and he tells him, hey, somebody told me David was here. You've been conspiring with him. And Ahimelech had no idea this was the case, because remember, he asked David, and David said, hey, I'm on Saul's business. All right, everything's okay with me and Saul. I'm actually doing things for him. David lied to Ahimelech. He had no idea. But Saul is so enraged. He's fallen so far away from God. All right, because of his pride, because of his arrogance, and now this evil spirit that's oppressing him. He's fallen so far away from God that he doesn't care. He says, all right, you know what? Because you guys helped out my enemy, I'm going to kill all the priests. And he turns to his footmen. He turns to his own soldiers, and he says, hey, kill him. And none of them would do it. None of them wanted to go up against the men of God, these men that helped them worship their God. They didn't want to touch the priest. All right, that's a very taboo thing to do. And Saul is probably becoming more frustrated, because remember, he just lamented about this fact that he thinks like none of his men are with him. Nobody cares as much about finding David as much as he does. And so he turns to Doeg, all right, and he says, maybe because he finds within him a kindred spirit, I don't know. And he says, hey, will you kill him? And Doeg's like, no problem. He gets his sword and he falls and he kills 85 of the people of Nob, the priest at least. And then the rest of the people, they killed the whole city of Nob, an utter destruction. Every man, woman, child. That's how far Saul has fallen, where he destroys a whole city because of his own hatred for David. A hatred that is very much misplaced because of his own pride and arrogance. Now, you may think my main point for today has something to do with Saul. And if that's yours, that's great, because that's very evident. That's very plain. All right, but for me, it's a little different. I still go back to David. All right, Abiathar, who is the one of the priests that survived, he runs and he goes to David and he tells him what happened. And David is probably guilt-stricken because he realizes, I should have known. I knew it when I saw Doeg. So not only did David lie, but he knew that Doeg, a spy of Saul, was there present in Nob at that time. Yet he still didn't warn Ahimelech. He still didn't say anything. And now he has to reflect hindsight 2020, and he realizes, I should have known. I knew it as soon as I saw Doeg that something bad was going to happen over there. I just didn't probably think it was going to be to this extent. Well, my main thing for this chapter, it kind of connects with what we talked about yesterday, faith over fear. Because of his fear, he was making hasty decisions. He was lying to people, lying to the priests. And not only did it lead to his shame in acting like an insane man in front of the king, Achish of Gath, but it also led to tragedy. His deception, he thought, led to his security. He thought because of his deception with Ahimelech, it kept him safe. He was able to run and everything was okay. But in reality, it brought tragedy to the people that he lied to. And guys, that's important for us to remember. Deception, living in fear instead of faith. You may think it brings you victory. It may bring you the results that you want. But in reality, it's only going to bring tragedy, despair, defeat, shame in the end. All right, and it affects far more than just you. It affects others as well. And we see that with the city of Nob. His deception did not bring security, it brought tragedy. All right, and let that be very important, guys. That's why it's important to live by faith, not by fear. Yeah, everything Saul did was terrible, but at this point, he's a lost cause, all right? A lost cause. He's already fallen so low that he could do something like that. That's why God chose David to be king, and he's not acting like the king God wants him to be just yet. But that's it for today's chapter, guys. I hope you got something out of this as well. Tell somebody about it. Always continue this conversation about our great God. God bless.